Edward as King, Chapter 33. Edward as King, Chapter 33. Now we know the story. The prince and the pauper meet again. They re-exchange their clothes and position, but Tom is no more a beggar boy. He is a royal character uh, by the king's command. Today we are going to see how Edward rules the country as king. Tom has been the king so far. Now let's see if Edward continues from where Tom stops. Tom has been a good king to the people, a friendly king. Now let's see Edward's role. Will he act as a good king, or will he be the same as his father, Henry? Right. Edward as king. First part of the chapter deals with Miles Hendon's role, what he does. He's still looking for the prince after they got separated on the London Bridge. Miles Hendon was picturesque enough. Picturesque means very attractive enough before he got into the riot on London Bridge. That is where we left the two friends, Hendon and the prince, on London Bridge. He was more so when he got out of it. He had but little money, but when Hendon comes out of the London Bridge, he had little money when he got in and none at all when he got out. The pickpockets had stripped him of his last farthing. Now, when Hendon gets onto the London Bridge, he has some little money, but when he gets out, he has no money, no farthing. Farthing means money because pickpocketers have taken all of his money. Now, Hendon is a penniless person. But no matter, it doesn't matter if he found his boy, but he does not find the prince too. Being a soldier, he did not go at his task in random way. Now, as a soldier, Hendon does not search the prince in a random way, disorganized way, not in a planned way, but in a planned way, he looks for the prince, but he does not find the boy. But set to work, first of all, arrange his campaign. Campaign means search. What would the boy naturally do? Where would he naturally go? Well, argued Miles, he would naturally go to his former haunts. Now Hendon has various thoughts about the lost prince. Hendon does not know the fact that his friend is now King of England. Is now King of England. He does not know it. He still thinks the prince is somewhere in London. What would the boy naturally do? Where would he naturally go? Well, argued Miles. He would naturally go to his former haunts. Now, Hendon believes the prince would go to his haunts. Former means past haunts. Haunts means places. Oh, because that is the instinct. That is the natural feeling. Instinct means natural feeling of all unsound minds. Unsound mind means all mad people. When homeless, when they have no homes and forsaken, abandoned. Sometimes of sound ones. Sound one means not sane people. People who are not mad, madless people. Now Hendon thinks the prince may go to his former places in London. Whereabout were his former haunts? What are his former haunts? Hendon thinks, what are these places? Hendon has these questions about the prince. His rags taken together with the low villain who seemed to know him and who even claimed to be his father, indicated that his home was in one or another of poorest and meanest districts of London. Now Hendon comes to a decision that because of the prince's rags and the low villain means John Canty, because of John Canty and Princess rags, who claimed to be his father, implied that his home was in one or another of the poorest or meanest district of London. Now Hendon thinks, going by the prince's ragged clothes and his father John Canty, this person must live, this poor boy must live in the meanest means lowest, worst district means parts of London, areas, region of London. Therefore, Hendon decides to look for the prince in these areas or in these regions. Something like places like Awful Court. Right. Would the search for him be difficult or long? No, it was likely to be easy and brief. Now Hendon thinks this search will be not so difficult, it will be easy. He would not hunt for the boy. He would not look for the boy. He would hunt for a crowd. He would look for a crowd of people in the center of a big crowd or little one, sooner or later. He would find the poor little friend. He would meet his little friend, sure. And the Mengi mob, Mengi means very ugly, dirty people, would be entertaining itself. They would be enjoying themselves with pestering, troubling. Pestering means troubling and aggravating. Aggravating means making angry. Troubling and making angry the little boy, who would be proclaiming, and the prince would be saying, proclaiming means saying, himself king, as usual. Then Miles Hendon would cripple some of those people. Then Miles Hendon would cripple means attack or uh, cripple or thrash, hit some of those people and carry off his little ward, take off his little, carry away his little friend, ward means friend, and comfort and cheer him, give him comfort and happiness with loving words, and two would never be separated anymore. Now that is Hendon's decision to find out the prince. Okay, let's write down up to this place. Edward as king. Chapter 33 mainly deals with Edward's function and duty. Edward's function and duty as the King of England. In the first part of the chapter, Miles Hendon's desperate search, desperate search desperate search for the lost prince. Desperate search for the lost prince is manifest. Is manifest. Hendon and the prince are separated from each other, are separated from each other on the London Bridge, on the London Bridge. And now Hendon keeps looking for him. Hendon feels much lonely, much lonely without his best friend nearby. He begins a search for the prince, but he does not find him anywhere. But he does not find him anywhere in the city. Hendon does not know the fact. Hendon does not know the fact that his little friend is the King of England, and he will never find him. He will never find him as a beggar boy in the streets of London. In the streets of London. Go back to the book. So Miles started on his quest. Quest means his journey or search. Hour after hour, he tramped through. Tramp means walk through the back alleys. Alleys means paths or roads, and let's call it dirty streets. Let's call it means dirty streets. Seeking groups, seeking people. Groups and crowds means people, and finding no end of them. He finds so many people, so many groups, but never any sign of the boy. Never any sign of the boy. But he does not find any sign, any clue about the boy. The search is desperate, hopeless. This greatly surprised him. Hendon is surprised, but did not discourage. But he is not still discouraged. To his notion, according to his idea, notion means idea, there was nothing the matter with his plan of campaign. Now, according to Hendon, there is no wrong, nothing wrong with his search. The only miscalculation, only wrong calculation about it was that the campaign was becoming lengthy one. The search becomes very lengthy without no end. Whereas he had expected it to be short, but he expected this search should be short, but it becomes lengthy because the prince is nowhere in the streets of London. Right. Write down. Finally, Hendon decides. Finally, Hendon decides to stop his search. To stop his search for the prince. Search for the prince. Because It is a waste of time and energy. It is a waste of time and energy. He further decides that he further decides that he must find a way. He must find a way into the palace and to meet and to meet and to meet the king, to find some solution for his problem. For his problems. Right. Okay. Go back to page 256. First paragraph. Toward 11 o'clock, he approached the palace. He came to the palace, and although a host of showy people, there were a group of colorful, showy, very beautiful people were about him, moving in the same direction. They were also walking towards the palace. He was not inconspicuous. He was not inconspicuous. He was very conspicuous, highlighted. Not inconspicuous means he was highlighted. His costume took care of that because of his dress. His dress does not match the colorful dresses of the people. He watched these people face narrowly. He looked at these people narrowly, closely, hoping to find a charitable one, hoping to find a supportive. Charitable means supportive one, whose possessor, and that person, possessor means person, might be willing to carry his name, take his name to the all lieutenant as trying to get into palace himself. That was simply out of question. Now, this is Hendon's decision to go into the palace to look for some solutions for his problem. Now he is looking for someone supportive, charitable. to have some help. His idea is to meet the old lieutenant, army officer, Humphrey Marlowe. That army officer's name is Humphrey Marlowe. Humphrey Marlowe is the Whipping Boy's father. Whipping Boy's name is also Humphrey Marlowe. Now Hendon decides to meet Whipping Boy's father, Humphrey Marlowe. There he is, the old lieutenant. Old lieutenant. Now by this time, the Whipping Boy, Humphrey Marlowe's son, Humphrey Marlowe, both father and the son have the same name. Punchibanda's son, Punchibanda. Humphrey Marlowe's son, Humphrey Marlowe. The Whipping Boy passed him. Passed Hendon. Then wheeled about and scanned his figure. He turned. Wheeled about means turned and scanned his figure. Checked Hendon's figure, his body and his appearance, saying to himself, and that is not the very vagabond. If this is, here and means if this is not the very vagabond means homeless. If this is not the very homeless person, His Majesty in such a worry about, the king is worried about. Now by now, the prince has ordered, or king has ordered the Whipping Boy to look for Miles Hendon in the city. Miles Hendon in the city and to bring him back to the palace. The prince is worried about Hendon's, and then Whipping Boy thinks, I am an ass, I am a fool. This must be the vagabond, that homeless person that king is looking for. King has ordered me to look for. Though be like that I was that before. He answers the description to a rag. This man has the same appearances. His answers the description to a rag means this man also has same appearances as the king said. Now Whipping Boy thinks this vagabond or homeless person may be Miles Hendon. Right. He speaks to him. Now let's listen to their dialogue. You have just come out of the palace. Do you belong here? Now Hendon speaks to the Whipping Boy. Yes, your worship. No, you, Sir Humphrey Marlowe. Do you know Humphrey Marlowe? Humphrey Marlowe is Whipping Boy's father. Right. Now Whipping Boy is surprised. The boy started, surprised. Said to himself, he spoke to himself, oh Lord, mine old departed father. Now this man is talking about my departed father. Departed means dead. This man is talking about my dead father. Then, this is very humorous. This place is humorous. You see, good. Hendon asks, very good. Is he within? Is he inside? He means inside the palace. But we know Whipping Boy's father is dead by now. Yes. Whipping Boy says, yes, said the boy. And he spoke to himself, within his grave, yes, he is in his grave. He is in his tomb now, not in the palace, but in the grave. He means he is dead. Might I crave your favor? Can I have your help? Crave means you ask something desperately, hopefully. Can I have your favor, help, to carry my name to him and say, I beg to say a word in his ear. I wanted to meet him. Then Vipin boy says, I will dispatch the business. Yes, I will do it. I will dispatch means I will do it right willingly, fair sir, good sir. Then say, then tell Humphrey Marlowe, Miles Hendon, son of Sir Richard, is here without. I shall be greatly bounden to you. I am obliged to you if you carry this message to Humphrey Marlowe, my good lad, my good friend, my good boy. The boy looked disappointed. The boy is, it means the Vipin boy is hopeless because the king did not name him so. The king never told me the name of that homeless man, he said to himself. But it mattereth not. It doesn't matter. It mattereth not means it doesn't matter. This may be his twin brother. This may be the other's twin brother. And he can give his majesty. This brother can give the king news of the other brother. Sir, odds and ends. I warrant. I promise. So he said to Miles, step in there a moment, good sir. Come here, good sir. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Wait till I bring you a word. I will take your message to the palace, and till I come, don't go anywhere. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Right. Write down. Next paragraph. Hendon's plan is to meet his father's old friend. Hendon's plan is to meet his father's old friend. Sir Humphrey Marlowe. Sir Humphrey Marlowe, who works in the palace. Who works in the palace. Full stop. Actually, Humphrey Marlowe is the Vipin boy's father. Vipin boy's father, who is dead now. Who is dead now. At the palace gate, Hendon meets the Vipin boy and requests his help. Requests his help. Full stop. Meanwhile, The king has ordered the whipping boy to look for Hendon. Look for Hendon. The whipping boy keeps Hendon at the gate and takes the message to the king. Take the message to the king. Take the message to the king. Full stop. At the same time, the soldiers arrest. At the same time, the soldiers arrest Miles Hendon as a suspicious person. As a suspicious person. Suspicious person. Go back to the book 257. Hendon retired to the place indicated. Hendon went to the place showed. It was a recess. Recess means a hall sunk into the palace wall with a stone bench in it. It's a shelter for sentinels. It's a place for soldiers in bad weather. He had hardly seated himself. He just seated there when some halberdiers means some guards or soldiers in charge of an officer passed by. The officer saw him, halted his men, stopped his men, and commanded Hendon to come forth. He obeyed and was promptly arrested. Hendon is quickly arrested as a suspicious character, prowling, moving, walking within the precincts of the palace, surroundings of the palace area, palace area. Precincts means area of palace, a place, region, right? Things began to look ugly. Poor Miles was going to explain, but the officer roughly silenced him. Officer silenced him and ordered his men to disarm him, take his arm and search him. Now, this is how Hendon is arrested by the soldiers. You can see the picture. Now, this is the weapon halberd. This weapon is called halberd, axe-like weapon. There is an axe, there is a javelin or axe-like weapon. Okay, now Hendon is arrested as a suspicious person. Arrested as a suspicious character. Oh God of his mercy, Grant that they find something somewhat, said poor Miles. I have searched enough. I have searched enough for my boy and failed, but I failed, yet is my need greater than theirs. Nothing was found but a document. Now the soldiers, when they search Hendon's persons, they find a document, a letter in Hendon's pocket. The officer tore it open. Actually, this is the letter that was written by the prince at Hendon Hall. The prince wrote this letter to the palace and ordered Hendon to carry it, but they did not have time to take it. They found a letter written by the prince. The officer opened the letter. Hendon smiled when he recognized the pot hooks. Pot hooks means handwriting. When he saw the handwriting made by his lost little friend that black day at Hendon Hall, the officer's face grew dark. Officer's face became dark as he reached English paragraph. English paragraph. Because the prince wrote this letter in 3 languages. Now, officer read the English paragraph, and Miles blenched to the opposite, became white, opposite colors of as he listened. Now, officer says, another new claimant, another new owner for the crown, cried the officer. Verily, they breed like rabbits. Verily, clearly, these claimants or owners for the crown breeds. Breed means are born like rabbits. Seize the rascal. Arrest this rascal. This rascal. It means handed. This mean fellow. See you to keep him. Keep him fast while I convey this precious paper, while I'll give this important paper within and send it to the king. I will send this paper to the king. In this way, he hurried away, leaving the prisoner in the grip of halberdiers. Now, the officer finds the very letter written by the prince himself. And this letter becomes an identification for Miles Hendon. Write down. When the officers search Hendon, they find the letter. They find the letter that the prince wrote to the palace when they were in Hendon Hall. This letter proof, P-R-O-V-E-S, this letter proof Hendon's identity as Miles Hendon and on the king's command, He is summoned, SUMMONED. He is summoned into the palace. He is summoned into the palace. He enters the palace expecting a severe punishment, SEVERE, severe punishment for that letter, for that letter. But it is that letter, it is that letter which rewards Hendon, which rewards, REWARDS, which rewards Hendon for his good service, for his good service to the king, to the king. When the king roamed as a beggar, when the king roamed as a beggar, as a beggar in the streets of London, right? We stop there and do the next part of the story in our next session.